I'd be less scared of spiders if they were bigger. If spiders were the size of a small dog or cat, I wouldn't nearly be as scared of them because I'd know they aren't on me or near me. I wouldn't be worried about one crawling in my mouth, nose, or ears while I sleep. Edit. A word. Edit. The comments are saying how they'd be powerful enough to kill me, but that's just another reason to love MD. Yup, that's unpopular, fuck giant spiders. Well, it could actually solve a lot of issues now that I think about it. Everyone probably owns a shotgun P. Imagine shotgunning a spider, only to have a million mouse-sized spiders fucking splatter out of it. I bet they taste like crab. A giant spider can pierce you with its fangs. Do you think spiders only eat smaller bugs? Gun. Dude, a dog-sized wolf spider would be able to leap like 80 fucking feet and run and move far faster than just about any other dog-sized critter. If they were that big, humans could definitely be feasible food for some spiders, and if spiders were hunting us, they'd be far more dangerous and difficult to defend against than wolves or bears or cougars or alligators. It would be literal hell on earth if all spiders on earth one day grew 40x their size. Sure, you'd probs kill a few, but it only takes one or two dog-sized predatory spiders who are set on eating you before you'd be fucked. LMAO, yup. Imagine coming across a 30-pound jumping spider. You'd be so fucked. An average man would be able to kill a giant spider dog-sized, but he'd have to get medical attention immediately afterwards to deal with the possible bites. Honestly, I think you're underestimating the average person's reflexes and ability to defend themselves from an experienced professional assailant. I think your average human could get lucky a few times. But realistically, the only way most people would survive more than one or two spider attacks like that would be by finding ways to completely avoid them or wipe them out with chemicals. They would be a far greater and more frequently occurring physical threat than any other predatory animal humans have ever had to live with. Sure, a full-grown grizzly bear would still probably be harder to kill, but spiders have venom, traps, incredible strength and reflexes, are much more stealthy, and likely to try sneaking up on you, don't give a shit if you play dead, reproduce a zillion times faster, with far more different, unique, deadly, successful species, spanning a far greater variety of environments globally. Some of them can swim. Some blend in perfectly with shit. Some jump 50 times their body length. Most can paralyze you with a single bite if they were that size. The insect world is just so much more fucking intense and metal than OURS, which is saying something. I honestly don't think humans would stand much of a chance on more equal footing. Not to mention, some of them eat their prey while they are alive. Getting eaten alive has always sounded like one of the most terrifying, painful deaths imaginable to me, and it's pretty macabre to consider that that's how the vast majority of all living things on our planet have died, will die. The vast majority of all living things on our planet also don't have the neurological capacity to comprehend the concepts of death or fear, or to emotionally experience pain, if we assume that they feel pain at all. So for insects, getting eaten alive or dead is pretty much 6 of 1. Shock is a hell of a drug. Even humans will probably not understand what's going on because their body just doesn't prioritize thinking or feeling pain while getting eaten alive. Except archaeology shows us insects that were indeed these sizes and could move proportionately as fast despite their scale because of oxygen in the atmosphere. It's like how we used to depict dinosaurs as slow, sluggish creatures because we couldn't imagine that much mass moving quickly, but now we consider the capability of large birds and the sheer energy of these creatures, and we can predict that many moved with extraordinary speed. They would not be as scared as you think. Spiders are really smart and can eat prey many times their own size. If they were as big as a dog or cat, they 100% would hunt us as food. Getting caught in a web would be death. They could ambush you faster than you could react, and nothing could save you from their potent venom. Camel spiders can get up to about 6 inches, and their top speed is 10 miles per hour. They are arachnids but not spiders, but either way they are still fucking freaky in their own right, even though they are larger. They are not venomous to humans, but they can still do quite a bit of damage. Just saying bigger doesn't mean less scary, lol. When my dad was deployed in Saudi Arabia, he mentioned that these little fuckers would actively chase him when he was jogging around the track at the base. can confirm have been chased by the fuckers in Iraq. Fuck those things to this day. That's wacky, the ones we seen were always running from us. Scientific American says luckily for all of us, the fact that people swallow 8 spiders in their sleep yearly isn't true. Not even close. The myth flies in the face of both spider and human biology, which makes it highly unlikely that a spider would ever end up in your mouth. 3 or 4 spider species live in most North American homes, and they all tend to be found either tending their webs or hunting in non-human infested areas. During their forays, they usually don't intentionally crawl into a bed because it offers no prey, unless it has bed bugs, in which case that person has bigger problems. So no worries, spiders don't crawl in your nose, mouth, ears. Obviously, no one at Scientific American has ever lived in New Orleans, let alone in an elderly home in New Orleans. My house, when I had it, was built in 1939 and came with the original spiders. And those rat fuckers would crawl into bed with me on cold nights. How did I know? I'd wake up to fang marks on my thighs and armpits. They weren't subtle, they went for the hot spots, and then, apparently, leave a negative review before they escaped back into the fucking walls where raid never got them. I can't tell if I agree with this or not. On one hand, they'd be so much scarier. However, it does eliminate the scare factor of it crawling on you in a spot you are unaware of. The sight of one would be terrifying, but at least you know it isn't on you. It's a tough answer. Spiders are the nature's #1 ambush predator. If they would be big, we would be on the menu, and nowhere would be safe as those fuckers can come at you from any direction. Imagine seeing every morning news that your town had yet again 1 to 4 dead to spiders. Exterminators would report that they found another den full of cocooned humans, some mummified as their all organs are turned to milkshake by spiders' enzymes, some half alive, but fucked up beyond repair psychologically. Every day you would hear PSA to lock all windows, doors and vents. Yet every day people are found dead. You would just shrug that it won't happen to you, you have lockdown drill, you have your 12 grams by your bedside. Until you see 8 glimmering eyes sized of grapes on the corner of your ceiling. Okay, you have changed my mind. I have mixed feelings about this. Considering I've had a full-blown panic attack that lasted hours because I saw a spider on my bed. I'm leaning towards your Kinder right XD. Then you would die the instant you see a spider taking up 10% of your ceiling. But at that size they can't sneak into my house and just sit and wait. Sure, the large spider would be scarier, but I've never had a small animal sneak into my house. You've never had a small animal sneak into your house because they don't have a place at your house. Spiders, on the other hand, have a perfect place in your house. Honestly, at that size, we would probably become their prey. They could get through windows just fine. They could be in your backyard or on your roof, which would also really suck. Additionally, they don't have to be in your house. They could be on your car, on the road, in the grocery store, at your workplace, school. Fear is irrational. I think being able to see them makes me feel safer. Yeah, but you probably wouldn't actually be safer. Maybe you would be less paranoid about encountering one, but if you actually do find one, you literally come face to face with something that can kill you. Though if randomly all spiders on Earth grew to the size of a dog, we would probably exterminate them from houses and cities very quickly. You are 100% right. I'm afraid of bears, but I'm not exactly afraid of them sneaking in my mouth at night. That's the distinction. If spiders would be the dog size, I am going to buy a few for my house protection. That's the thing with spiders, most of time it's not that you're scared of seeing one. It's more you lost track of where has gone, and now have to live with the anxiety that I may or may not kill you now. Even though it's relatively harmless. Ooh. But they can be. Let me show you Australia. No. No freaking way. If I saw a spider as big as a cat, I think I would literally die. 8 eyes, fangs? No. I'd be less scared of spiders if they didn't exist. Do you rather risk a small spider in my mouth, then come home to a spider that could fit my foot in its mouth? Imagine seeing a wolf spider the size of a cat curled up in the corner with its hamster-sized babies on its back. Each eye that's staring at you is the size of a grape. Is that the world you want? You would rather have that? You couldn't just squish it with a rolled-up paper or trap it in a cup. Man, you'd have to fight it with a broom or a garden rake as it hissed death threats at you. You kick it as hard as you can, and now your shoe is buried in spider guts. Like it just gets worse the more I think of it. Rip the local bird population, that's for sure. They wouldn't have a chance in those webs. Yeah, no one wants that. Wolf spider of that size, you would never see it coming for you. No matter what, they terrify the fuck out of me. I saw an episode of a TV show, and in it there was a simulation. In the simulation was a giant spider. I had to refrain from screaming because it was 3 a.m, and I've had the same reaction every time I see it. Mate, I agree. I have severe arachnophobia, like panic attack and heart palpitation severe, but the concept of giant spiders doesn't scare me in that way. The Shelob scenes in L'Autre are f-king fantastic IMO, and I love watching them, for example. I totally disagree. I'd hate big ugly fucking spiders, but these are the kind of posts that should be on this unpopular opinions. So have my upvote, fellow Redditor. I love spiders. So not disagreeing with you. But if spiders evolved to be at least as big as dogs, they would have become top of the food chain before us. With how smart they already are, I imagine they would be the dominant species on the planet. Also, crabs are basically just giant underwater spiders. Yeah, that's fair. I'd rather see them than not. I actually don't hate them as much as I used to. They are hecka creepy for sure, but they are usually pretty docile and helpful when it comes to mosquitoes. Agreed. I hate when I walk through a spiderweb and don't know if a spider is on me. Stay where I can see you. I fully support the research into big spiders. Yeah, but then you would have to worry about giant spider webs. I would be so much more scared of them. Well, there are a lot of big spiders and some of them eat rodents. No, you would not. Unpopular, but only because any bug arachnid is 1000x times scarier than any normal-sized bug. I'm indifferent about spiders, and I preach indifference about spiders. They keep bugs out of your house and live in dark corners I could never fit in.